is my most recently finished ink and watercolor painting. It's a little guy, so it only took me about 10 hours. And this is a glass of clean water. And yep, I am just going to, yeah, I did it. I just splashed some water on my painting. No problem. Here we go. It just wipes right up. Good as new. So I bet a bunch of you have all sorts of questions. What witchcraft is this? Why the heck did you do that? Why would you do this to your painting? How? Don't worry, I'll tell you all about it so that you too can make watercolor paintings that are waterproof. First, let me tell you a little story about how we got here. Hello, and welcome back to the studio, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lee Angold. I'm a botanical artist and natural science illustrator based in Canada. A couple years ago, I started really leaning into my passion of painting crusty branches. I'm fascinated by complex ecosystems hidden in plain sight, mosses, lichens, fungi growing on other organisms. I started painting trees. Specifically, I started painting large-scale portraits of tree bark as ecosystem. My goal is to pull my viewers into these vibrant worlds that are hidden in plain sight all around them. And so I wanted to create large, vibrant, graphic depictions of tree bark ecosystems, presented in a way that viewers could really connect with them. But I quickly ran into a challenge, and that is watercolor is usually painted on paper and framed behind glass. As I paint very detailed and saturated paintings, I started using heavier paper, 640 GSM or 300-pound paper. That stuff's like cardboard. However, that really only comes in a maximum size of 22 by 30 inches or an imperial full sheet. But I had dreams of painting even larger, so I had to switch to paper in rolls. Unfortunately, that paper maxes out at about half the weight of my preferred paper. I also found myself increasingly frustrated with the need to frame my paintings behind glass. Framing watercolor paintings is atrociously expensive. Not only that, but buyers tend to not really like glass. It's fragile, and it creates a barrier between the viewer and the artwork. And especially with my goal of connecting people to invisible ecosystems, I really didn't want to add that extra glass barrier. I especially didn't want to pay for it. And so I started looking at alternatives. And so I looked at what other artists painting in other media were using. Canvas never really appealed to me. I prefer very smooth finishes. Even for my watercolor, I don't like using cold press or rough paper. I prefer to use hot press. So I really didn't want to deal with the texture of canvas, which left panels, either masonite or aluminum composite panels seemed to be my two big options. Of course, you can't paint in watercolor directly on a masonite or aluminum composite panel. It's just going to slide right off. So I needed to figure out some way of getting a surface that I would like painting onto the panel. And then once I was done painting, I needed to figure out a way to make it waterproof so that I could frame it without glass. So those were my two goals. And I found two solutions that work well for me and one that doesn't work so well. So first, let's start with what doesn't work for me. There is something called watercolor ground, which you can apply to various surfaces, and it creates a surface that watercolor can adhere to somewhat. I tried applying watercolor ground to various panels and then painting on them. I never really enjoyed the texture, the feeling on the brush of watercolor ground, and I never found a watercolor ground that really behaved like I wanted it to behave with my watercolor. However, if you do like working with watercolor ground and you have a variety that works for you, the second part of my technique will absolutely work with watercolor ground, so don't shy away from that. Do let me know down in the comments below if you do use watercolor ground, what variety you use, how you apply it, whether you do any sanding. This is something that I would like to revisit, so absolutely give me your advice down in the comments below. However, as so far I haven't really found a watercolor ground that works well for me, I'm gonna go over the two options that I do use that do work well for me. The first one, which I use a little bit less, but does have its place on occasion, is what this painting that you saw in the intro and that I've been working on throughout this video is painted on, and that is Aquaboard. Aquaboard is a prepared panel product sold by Ampersand. It is a textured clay-based surface that creates a paper, like cold press paper-like, but very lifting surface for watercolor. Because it's very lifting, I use it in different situations than I would use a traditional paper-like surface, because the colors lift up really easily and can also be easily scratched out for very fine highlights. This is great for rough textured subjects or where you're going to want to work with a lot of scrubbing and lifting. I've left an Amazon affiliate link down below in the video description for where you can purchase Ampersand Aquaboard. However, if you have a local art supply store, please go purchase there instead of supporting Jeff Bezos. The second product that I use actually a lot more frequently is actually watercolor paper that is laminated to an aluminum composite panel. You can get these as prepared panels, which is the first way that I tried them. You can purchase prepared watercolor paper panels from Raymar. Again, the links are down in the description, and a few other suppliers. However, what I really like about using aluminum composite panels with paper laminated to them is that this is something that I can either do myself or have a local company do for me. So I purchase watercolor paper either in sheets or in rolls, and then I use an archival adhesive such as an acrylic medium or a rabbit skin glue or synthetic alternative. I can then stick my watercolor paper directly to an aluminum composite panel, and that allows me much more flexibility in size and specific paper surface than if I was buying pre-made panels. I am a gigantic spaz, so although this is something that I could do at home, I don't. I pay an art preparator to make my panels for me to my specifications. So I bring them the watercolor paper that I want mounted to a panel. I get watercolor paper in rolls generally, and then I tell them the specific sizes that they should make. Kind of framer art preparator may be able to do this for you. You will just need to reach out to your local businesses. As for the panels themselves, if you are making your own or getting a preparator to make panels for you, you can get raw panels without the watercolor paper on them from either art suppliers. Check out TriArt if you're Canadian. They're really wonderful. living wage Canadian employer, or if you want much larger panels or a lot more panels, you can also get aluminum composite material as a building supply in 4x8 or 5x9 sheets. And that is how my Preparator gets their panels. So I could technically make watercolor paintings up to 5 feet by 9 feet, which is super exciting. Whew. Okay, sorry, I got carried away with the big pieces thing. This is a tiny piece, and we're back to here. So this is the first step for making waterproof watercolor paintings that you can frame without glass, and that is just paint on panel. Now, what the panel is finished with, that can be something like a watercolor ground or a clay-based surface that's applied to it, or it can be a paper that's laminated to the panel. Either way, the panel prevents too much changes from the environment. It prevents your paper, if you're using a paper surface, from warping and distorting. It prevents moisture absorption from the back. So this allows you to paint in watercolor on the front of the panel, but the back is all protected. Now, the painting process is going to feel pretty much like a regular watercolor painting. You don't have to do anything special about how you use your watercolor paints, other than if you use something like an aqua board or a watercolor ground, your lifting and the texture on your brush might be a little bit different, but other than that, you are basically just painting as you would on paper. This changes at the end of the painting. So you need to figure out when you're done your painting, because once you're done and you do step 2, you cannot go back. So step 2 for making watercolor paintings that are waterproof and will be frameable without glass is to finish the front of the painting. The goal here is to have a finished paint film that is like an acrylic or oil that'll shed dust and that you can wipe clean. This is important. If you just left the paper bare on its front, it would collect dust, and if you tried to wipe it, you would wipe the watercolor with it because it's water soluble. Also, even in the course of just it sitting there, even though it's on panel, the moisture from the air would interact with the paper. It might get patchy, you might get runs. You don't want to do that long term. So if you are planning on framing a watercolor painting without glass, you do actually need to apply a layer to the front. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So you definitely want to apply something to the front of your finished watercolor paintings to protect it from environmental conditions, whether they be dust or just moisture in the air, or goodness forbid, a splash of water. You wouldn't want that to destroy your prized art. That is why we put glass in front of watercolor paintings usually. But if not glass, then we want something that'll make the watercolor painting underneath behave something like an acrylic or oil painting. And the finishing method that I like best, both because it has great archival qualities and because it's super easy to apply, is cold wax medium. So cold wax medium is an oil medium, and it's this oily wax paste that you apply. You apply it just completely dry, no preparation. It can go directly on your watercolor, and then you mix it around. I usually do 3 layers over the course of a week or so, sometimes 4. To apply the cold wax medium, I just use a clean rag or a paper towel, or even just a bit of toilet paper. I collect a little dollop of the cold wax medium, and then I spread it around my painting in nice little circles, working it in until the whole painting is covered. It does have a tiny bit of a sheen, and you can see the colors deepen just a little bit as it is being applied, but then it very quickly cures to a matte finish where it's basically invisible. Especially when it's used on a paper surface panel, the oil wax will actually absorb slightly into the paper and chemically bond. You can feel when you've just applied the oil that there's you can feel a sort of waxy finish to it, and that tends to disappear within a day or two. I find that for better protection, it's best to apply a few layers. I usually do 3 or 4. Once the first layer feels completely dry, I then apply another one, and then 1 or 2 more over the course of a week or so. And this creates a finish that is truly, completely waterproof. And that's how I can throw water at my finished painting and be completely confident that it's not going anywhere. And there you go, all done. One more finished painting that can be framed completely without glass. I hope this was helpful, but before I go, I do want to give you a few tips and warnings if you are going to try this yourself for getting the best success. So first, if you are using cold wax medium will not dissolve watercolor binder, but it is an oil medium. And so if you have an oily, waxy sort of substrate, for example, if you like using colored pencils along with your watercolor, you are going to need to seal them before you apply cold wax medium. So you're going to want to use a spray fixative, ideally several layers of it, before you apply cold wax medium. Let me repeat. If you apply cold wax medium directly to colored pencil or even to underbound watercolor, what you are likely to have is some of the pigment is going to dissolve and it's going to smear all over your paper. I am not concerned about this with this painting because, first of all, most of the painting is covered. I don't have any big white background as you would in a traditional botanical piece, but also I know that I used only very well bound watercolors and permanent ink that does not easily pick up. I have, from experience, applied cold wax medium to colored pencil and been very sad when I kind of destroyed a painting by applying cold wax medium and smearing all of the colored pencil work. The other thing to be aware of with cold wax medium is that it is a one-way street from water-based layers. You cannot apply cold wax medium and then go back and add extra layers of watercolor as you would if you had just walked away. The cold wax medium is an oil-based medium. It will repel water. So do not apply the cold wax medium until you are certain that you are done with all things to do with watercolor or any water-based medium, including acrylic. Once again, before I forget, thank you once again to the Ontario Arts Council who have funded this video and a bunch of my recent projects through the Materials for Disabled Artists grant, which paid for having my panels manufactured. Did I seriously say manufactured? Okay, clearly I am too tired, and I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.